really, because, of course, President Hollande's trip to the US, economic relations, a key part of this visit, aren't they, Stephen?
Yeah, he's taken with him 30 French business leaders on this trip to the United States. They're hoping to use the opportunity to do some deals while they're there. The list includes representatives of the National Train Company, the SNCF, the aerospace firm Safran, and the engineering company Alstom, which agreed this Monday to sell 5 giant wind turbines which are going to be installed off the coast of Rhode Island. Now, these business leaders will be hoping to add to the figures of French exports to the United States. They totalled more than 26 billion euros last year. That not as much, though, as the imported goods from America to the United States, from the United States to France, which were over 32 billion. Now, French goods represent less than 2% of imports into the United States. But in terms of investment, the US is the number one destination for French investors abroad, and vice versa. American money makes up 18.5% of the foreign investment in France. Many French entrepreneurs, in fact, go to the United States to try to raise money for their business.
French entrepreneurs are coming to the US to expand their business, to expand their market, but first of all, to raise some money. Most of them are started in Paris with some seed money. And when it comes to expand the business, it's really difficult to find some VC money. So they come to the US to have access to that money.
Let's check in on what's happening on the markets now, and we'll start on Wall Street, where the markets did manage to keep themselves ever so slightly in the green in trading on Monday, this after a series of solid company earnings. More than 2/3 of the firms listed on the broader S&P 500 index have topped expectations with their results so far this year, so that's giving investors some cheer in the United States. In Asia, shares are trading broadly in positive territory as well. Investors watching closely as the new chairwoman of the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, testifies to a congressional committee later. She'll be expected to talk about not only tapering that stimulus to the US economy, but also the state of the labour market in the United States. There's no trading in Japan today, though. The Nikkei closed for a public holiday. The Hang Seng leading the gains there in Asia.
Now, the Swiss referendum we're talking about now, immigration, of course, it's causing some political ructions. It could also have a real effect on many people's lives.
Yeah, there's an estimated 150,000 French workers that cross the border into Switzerland every day to go to work. They, of course, could be affected by this vote, which will see a cap potentially placed on EU nationals working in Switzerland. Now, that's 150,000 people, as you can imagine, is a large slice of the local workforce. Already, Swiss companies say their level of uncertainty has increased in the wake of this immigration vote. Olivia Salazar-Winspear now has more on those workers who cross the border every day.
These traffic jams could be a thing of the past if new laws are put in place in Switzerland after Sunday's referendum. Since 2002, an agreement with the European Commission has allowed people to move freely across the country's borders. But now the Swiss have voted to limit the flux of migrant workers. At the moment, more than 150,000 French nationals cross into Switzerland daily for work.
Well, the word eviction is perhaps a bit strong, but we do feel a little resentment, and that's a bit unsettling.
In some of Geneva's shops, up to 50% of the personnel are French, meaning that if the law does change, department stores like these will have to prioritise local people when hiring staff. Those in the retail sector worry that will be a challenge.
There won't be a retroactive effect for the current staff we have here in Switzerland. They shouldn't worry for their future. But when we start looking for new recruits, then it will be much more complicated.
Others say the negative impact will not just be a logistical headache. Curbing immigration could damage the country's economy.
The economy of Geneva, for example, is doing extremely well when compared to many other neighbouring economies. And this is in large part thanks to the free movement of persons, those frontier workers who are able to work over the border.
Italian and German nationals who work in Switzerland have also been worried by the news. The Italian-speaking canton of Ticino is a popular destination for northern Italian business owners and their employees. Despite this, Ticino was one of the regions that voted overwhelmingly to restrict immigration.
Olivia Salazar-Winspear reporting that. Stephen Carroll reporting there. Thank you very much, Stephen, with Business. He'll be back a little bit later on, of course. Now, coming up, the electric skateboard with